Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Python programming series. Today we're diving into the exciting world of file handling in Python. So whether you're a beginner or an experienced programmer, understanding file handling is crucial. So before we jump right in, I'm going to remind you to please remember to like and subscribe to this video, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell if you want more notifications on more videos in the future. And if you're interested in more of my content, I have an Introduction to Computer Systems course on the Udemy website via the link below in the description. So without further ado, let's jump right into file handling in Python. So first things first, let's go back here and talk about what file handling is. It's about making other files like text files or CSVs within our Python programs. So we're going to be working with simple text files, opening and closing them, read, writing and appending them, and we can create new text files and directories in Python. So let's go right to the beginning. When we're writing and reading from an external file in a text, we have to specify how that file is used within our programs. So you got your W, which is your write mode, which creates a new file. Any existing data is within the file at the same name is erased and a new one's created in its place. R is read mode. That's when an existing file is only being read and not being written to. And A is the append mode, and that adds new data to the file. So text files are only used to write, read, and append data. How they work is not easy to remove or alter individual elements of data once we've written into a file, unless we want to overwrite the whole thing or create a new file to store the new data. So, for example, I've got my nice written file called example.txt. So I'm going to use the read mode. So how you would actually output what's in that file, you need to declare file equals open. That's going to be used to open a file. Then I need example.txt, comma, and I'm going to do read. A couple of different methods in which we can do. To do that, however, we need the print statement, and we can do file.read. So what that's going to do is it's going to read the entire file. So what I'm going to do is, so that's going to read the file, and I'm going to do file.close. So that is our 3 lines of code. So let's say I'm going to press the run button. It prints out all the stuff stored in that file. So if we go back into it, this is the content in the file. So let's say I wanted to type in anything else we can actually think of. So what I'm doing here is, let's say I want to type in different content. If I was to run that now, it's going to print what I've just typed in into that file directly. We can alternatively have read lines or read line. So what read line is going to do, it's just going to print the first line. But if I was to put read lines, it's going to read everything, but what it's going to do is going to put it in a paragraph, and it's going to do \n. So we don't really want to do that. So if you want it nice and clean, you're best sticking with the file.read. So once we've read the file, we have to close it to free up system resources. So that's the first bit. Next bit, we need to actually write something into a file. So let's say I want to write, I don't know, like a party list, for instance. So I'm going to do a task I usually do with my students, and I'm going to call that attendees. And I'm going to do int input, and I'm going to do enter a number. And the reason why, and this is a task I go through with my students. So I'm going to do for I in range, and I'm going to do 0 to attendees. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do name, enter a name, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to write into a file. So I'm going to do file, open, and I'm going to call that party list. And I'm going to do txt. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to do a W, which is the write mode. And then what I will need to do after that is I will need to do the file.write, where I am writing in the name. And to make it clearer, I'm going to do a plus, quote, \n, so it shows, right, so it's going to make a new line every time. Okay, and then I'm going to do file.close. And then what that should do, that should take it all out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do file, I'm going to do print file.read. And then I'm going to do file close again. So when I run it, I'm going to enter a number, I'm going to enter two names. Right, can't do that because I've got print file.read when I shouldn't have it after doing a close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try that again. 2, enter a number, enter two names. Can't do that because I got file.read in the print statement where I don't want it. So with anything, you've got to test it. So I'm going to try 2. I'm going to try two names. It works, but the problem is it's doing the write. So I'm going to get rid of the attendees and I'm just going to have name here. So I'm just going to have enter a name. Doesn't do anything here. Right, I think I might have just realized something. What I should do is I'm going to get rid of party list. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enter a name. It's make the file, and there's the name. So I shouldn't have done file.write then file.read. So what I'm going to do, party list has got Daniel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another test just to see what happens. So I'm going to type in Danny, and what you'll see now, it's overwritten. So what that's done is because it's write mode, it's going to overwrite. Which is, so, we've opened a file in write mode, and a write method will add the content to it. So, what we need to do about that, problem is, there's error. There can be errors, and we can use a with statements for file handling. So error handling is crucial when we're working with files. You can use a with statement for better file handling, ensuring that the file is properly closed, even if an error occurs. So, what we could do, we could potentially have with open, call that example.txt. Then I'm going to do read as file. And then what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to call that content file.read. I'm going to print content. So that is what I'm going to do there. So I'm going to, and yep, so by doing that, I've managed to print out everything in that file. Okay? So that is the R. The other thing we need is append. So append is where we can add stuff each time. So I love doing append tasks. So what I normally do with my students is I would do something like attendee. Like ask them, right, how many names do you want? And input how many names they want to do. So I'm going to do attendees. I'm going to do int input, enter number of guests. Nice and easy. So I'm going to do for I in range, 0 guests. And then with these, I am just going to do that. Just indent those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to run. Then I'm going to test it and run it. And what I need to do, instead of saying W in the mode, I'm going to say A for append. So I'm going to enter 2 guests, which I can't actually do because guests is not defined. So what I should have done was say attendees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enter a 2, enter a name, party list is created. That's 2. So 2 names outputted. But I want to append. So I'm going to append that and I'm going to do 2 more names. And then go into the party list. More names have been appended. So appending, I'm just adding and adding and adding in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we can do different things in relation to file handling in Python there. So this is today's crash course on file handling in Python. We covered opening, reading, writing, and proper file handling techniques. So to do this is something you've got to practice these concepts, play around with the different file operations, and don't forget share, and subscribe for more Python tutorials. Thank you for watching, and have some happy coding. So please be sure to hit that like, and please also remember to hit that subscribe button. And another way to subscribe is to just click on this link, which is below each video I place. And if you like my content and you want to find out more about what I do, I've also got an online course called Introduction to Computer Systems on the Udemy website. So you just need to click on it. And there we go. So this is my online course, Introduction to Computer Systems. So this is the landing page for that course. So in it, you will learn. So these are some of the things we'll learn, like explaining the role of the central processing unit, describe the components of the CPU, provide an introduction to assembly language, which is low-level programming, explain the factors that affect the performance of the central processing unit, and I've also put in another bit that I'm interested in, the physics of overclocking the CPU, which made me develop an interest in electronics and also physics. So there's a lot more to it than even we realized. So this is the course content. So you've got computer systems, so I'm introducing you to it. Then I'm going into the different forms of architecture and assembly language. Then I'm going into the factors that affect it and the physics of overclocking the CPU. And then I'm going into logic, so combinational logic systems, making the logic gates, sequential logic systems, semiconductors. Then I go into all things binary, where we introduce you to number systems, all the way down to doing binary and sound, images, and text. And then finally, we got input and output devices and the different forms of storage. So that's where memory will come in. And then my assessment is basically one big quiz of 30 questions. So you don't need any knowledge to do this course. All you need is a computer with stable internet connection. So that's all you really need there. And why you should do the course? Well, wherever I don't know, I'll go out and learn it. So the way my brain is wired is I'm on the autism spectrum. So it will be an asset in helping you get through the online courses that we provide. So we understand how to explain things in simple terms due to my teaching background. So you could think of us as a real-life version of, say, a Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, minus the rudeness, or a C-3PO, but without the glitches. So I'm on the autism spectrum, so we're on the autism spectrum and have a rough idea on how to talk to them and relate to them. And my teaching style is that style I've crafted, and one that works in a way that some people don't get if they only had tuition in the classroom or just want to study the subject a lot more. So this course provides you with the opportunity to go further than you would in the subject that you want to pursue. So those are some of the reasons why you should consider buying this online course, because once you buy it, it's yours for a lifetime. For some of my videos, I will go through programming tasks. So if you want to do these yourself, I have put a Replit link below on my programming videos. So you just click on REPL, and this is what you need if you haven't signed up at all. So you just click sign up. If you've got an account, you just click login, and once you've logged in or signed up, this is the page that will appear. So if I was to log in right now, this is the page. So this will appear. So that will be the page there. And in addition to all that, I am also a private tutor where I offer my private tutoring services specializing in ICT and computer science. And I look forward to you coming to me for lessons. Goodbye for now.